Did you know that a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance?
Those are fun. I love kind of figuring out what groups animals
I know,
are
it's
called.
always really cool. Even though this one was spotted all alone, the pink bird attracted plenty of attention and even made headlines. And
Yeah.
you're like, well, why?
Well, let's think about it. Flamingos generally reside in tropical environments like Florida, right? But this frequent flyer ruffled a few feathers during a layover in Cape Cod, Massachusetts in early June.
It's just so wild, right?
You're in
This
the right
summer, you
spot.
may have a few more rare sightings in northern states, but instead of pink feathers, they might be brown scales. As climate change continues driving up average temperatures, animals like armadillos are migrating north to cooler ground.
Wow. The steady move has been happening for more than a century, but experts say the population is relocating faster than ever. We got David Mizejewski from the National Wildlife Federation joining us with some insight on why armadillos are migrating. David, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. We know they've been migrating, but what's the deal with the rapid increase in armadillo migration?
Yeah, it's not so much that armadillos are migrating to cooler temperatures. It's that places that used to be cool are now warmer. And armadillos, of course, don't have a thick coat of fur to keep them warm. They've got that kind of scaly skin and just kind of sparse hair. So they can't really survive in places that get extremely cold in the winter. And as extreme, climate change is making those colder temperatures less common the further north you go, it's allowing this particular species to migrate north. And they're not alone. We're seeing the same thing with the good old Virginia opossum, the possum. That is one of my favorite animals. And they also are expanding north. They lack hair on their ears and their tails. They can get frostbite, and they're already, as far north as upper New England, and they're predicted to go all the way up into Canada. They used to be more of a southeastern species.
What? That is crazy. Are the armadillo that far north as well already too?
They're not that far north yet, and I think they're as far north as maybe the Carolinas, but they're predicted to get up into New England if the climate change trajectory goes the way that it's been going. We're also seeing this with some birds. Common birds like the northern cardinal and the mockingbird, they've also expanded their ranges northward, in part because of climate change. But it's not all good news. There are species that their habitat is changing, but they themselves are not able to make the migration. So, for example, there are many bumblebee species, both here in North America and in Europe and the UK, that studies have shown that as their ideal temperature range shifts northward, these bumblebee species, for whatever reasons, it's not fully understood, are not moving, which means that their range is rapidly shrinking. And of course, bumblebees are important pollinators.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and there's examples too, like the kudzu vine, a really bad invasive species that's really taken over any disturbed areas in the southeast, is now migrating further north because of climate change. So, it might sound good, wildlife have more expanding ranges, but really the message about climate change is that it's destabilizing our ecosystems, and some species are really going to lose out.
Yeah, that kudzu stuff's all over here in Atlanta.
Yeah, it is.
Goats love to eat those, though, by the way, so get yourself a good goat. Hey, can we go back to the flamingo for a second? It was spotted in Cape Cod around the first week of June. Was that a random sighting, or could we actually see these birds migrating up into more northern latitudes?
And would they be a different color because they're going to be eating different things? Isn't it the shrimp that makes them pink?
I didn't even think about that.
Very good, Steph. Yeah, the flamingos are the color they are because of the crustaceans that they eat. That probably is more likely just a wayward migrant, or birds they can fly, and so they can get places that they don't normally are seen, and so that's probably what's going on there.
Okay.
But another cool Florida species that might be seen more frequently that far north are manatees. Right now, sometimes in the summer months, they do migrate out of Florida as far north as Cape Cod. But of course, they are very cold sensitive animals. And so if in the hot summer months, they make it that far north, they're put at increased risk when the fall comes to be able to get all the way back down to Florida without suffering, from the cold, and it can kill them. So again, it might seem cool. Oh, I'm seeing these cool animals out of their range, but in the big picture, it's really not so great news.
Dave, we have like 20 seconds left. My thought, how the heck do they know how to go north? Like, how do they?
They've got a compass.
Well, you'll have to have me back on. I mean, it's a complex thing of the stars and the sun and electromagnetic fields. It's really cool stuff, animal migration.
Steph.
There you
Back
go.
to the energy
That's what you call a deep tease.
I'd love to have you back on because I love this topic.
I love when you come on.
David Mizejewski, thank you so much from the National Wildlife Federation. We love having you.
Thank you.
Can't
All
wait
right,
till
well, we
next
know what
time.
his next topic is.
Yeah. I want to talk about, too, how they spotted these orca whales in the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Jordan's been obsessed with these orca whales. I know.
Are these animals lost? Do we need to help them find their way? Like, hey.
No, we need to follow.
Way.
We need to see what they're doing because they're giving us signs and hints of what's happening in the whole, environment and on the planet.
Obviously.
Exactly.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pattrn. This is your home for the latest news in climate change and sustainability. I'm Jordan Steele.
And I'm Steph Abrams. Let's get into some sizzling hot topics. Even if you're a fan of the hot weather, you're probably dreading opening your summer power bill. This literally happened to me. Ours went up like $100, and I went to call them to be like, hey, for some reason my power bill went up. And then I was like,
AC's been kicking on a lot.
Oh, yeah, because it's so hot out. Experts say there could be an untapped power source growing in your own backyard. New research suggests that the electrical rhythms plants use to pull water from the ground could be a source of renewable energy.
Whoa.
That is cool. Scientists used electrodes to study water hyacinth and lucky bamboo plants and discovered that the plants generate various amounts of potential electrical energy. Experts believe this can be harnessed and soon become a sustainable solution to the global energy crisis.
It's like you say, we're all energy. And we just have to find a way to tap
down
into
to
that.
the molecular level. We're just little pieces of energy bouncing around, as is a table, a couch, everything
So
is.
I was looking this up, and there's a type of tree that had this outlet on it. And I was like, okay, let me look into this. And they are able to find ways to actually pull very low voltage from I think it's a maple tree. There's a very common tree. And what they can do is, it's not enough to like plug in your phone or anything like that. And it was more of just like a photo to get you interested.
Yeah.
But what they can do is saying if they can figure out how to tap into this, they could put these little tiny electrodes on it that would sense if the tree's healthy, if there's a fire nearby, and it can give them like a digital footprint of how everything's doing.
Wow. I wonder if we use their energy, though, it'll ruin the tree.
I hope not.
If we pull the energy from it, well, we'll have to find out.
All right, second hot topic here. The future of fashion is unpredictable. And, the trendy clothes that you love today, well, they could be out of style tomorrow. But instead of tossing them out, what if you could just melt them down and recycle them into new ones? There are these engineers. They have come up with a way to dissolve your clothes by using sustainable fabric fibers made from gelatin. Don't worry about your laundry. They only come apart in boiling hot water itself, and the process could take up to an hour. But with this whole process, the EPA says that in 2018, the U.S. added more than 11 million tons of textile waste to landfills, so this could help reduce that number.
That is really cool.
We always talk, okay, so this is the hard part, right? Do you want to buy something that lasts for a long time, or buy something that's more eco-friendly that you might have to buy again down the road?
Yeah. And I'd rather just have one really good quality thing that's going to last me, my lifetime.
But what about with clothes? Clothes go in and out of style.
Yeah, they do.
You know
but they
what
always
I'm saying?
come back around.
They
because
do.
Now, like, having bootleg pants are back. I have to I'm like, great, all I have is my skinny jeans because I was cool for a while, and now it's back into the bootleg
Looking
cut.
at kids these days,
they wear 90s.
What they're wearing. Not only that, they're wearing stuff that like my father used to wear in like the 70s with these short shorts and like these styles with the hair. Mullets are coming back again. It's so crazy.
Raise your hand if you want Jordan to grow a mullet.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's see it. All right, let's go on to our next hot topic. And they say it takes a village, or in this case, maybe a tag team. Lucha Libre wrestlers in Mexico City are taking it to the mat in the fight against climate change. The event was organized by Mexico City's tourism department, the Swiss embassy, and the World Wrestling Council. The main goal to raise awareness about urgency of climate change and show off a few initiatives already in place. Here's one example. Nestle Mexico developed a trash translator called the, quote, Trashlator.
Oh, really?
And if you aren't sure how to recycle something, you can take a picture of it or type it into their website, and it will tell you the next steps to take.
Obviously bring in the idea of climate change everywhere.
Yeah, I love
even
that.
to wrestling. I never got into wrestling. I had friends that were really into it. Like WWE, the stuff that we have here. But this obviously just reminds me of Jack Black.
Oh, right, of course. When I was a kid, wrestling was huge. was really, really big when I was a kid in the 80s.
Like pre-The Rock?
Yes.
Okay.
And
like Hulk Hogan time frame.
Right.
Yes.
And, you know, there was the lumberjack twins, I forgot what they were called, that would come out or whatever. But anyways, I remember there was 2 boys that lived on our cul-de-sac, and we would trade, okay, we'll play wrestling with you, because they had one of those little wrestling rings.
Oh, yeah.
If you'll play, like, Barbies with us later or whatever.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did actually.
Good.
There was good compromise.
That's awesome.
There was good compromise.
You know, when responding to an emergency situation, time is of the essence. In the Phoenix Fire Department, they've got this brand new technique for helping victims of extreme heat.
Here's how they're making every second count by using a tool that looks a lot like a body bag.
A couple parameters we have to use before we can put someone in these cold water immersion bags is that they have a temperature over 104 degrees and they have to be altered. As soon as we get those and we take temperatures in their ear, we will put them in one of these bags and just dump a bunch of ice on them. It is so effective in cooling these patients down in the pre-hospital setting. Once we get around that 101 degrees, we will remove that person from the bag. We've had a patient at 112 degrees. By the time we've gotten that patient to the hospital, we've gotten down to 101 degrees. You're going to be outside, exercise, or do whatever you're going to be cooler parts of the day, early morning, late afternoon. Sometimes you can't get out of the heat because you're working. Please take breaks every 45 minutes and hydrate the night before. All our firefighters hydrate the night before because we know that we could go on mountain rescues. We can go on fire. So we are preparing for the next day about 24 hours before that.
And if anyone knows, it's firefighters because they're in the heat and they're wearing all that gear on top of it, which makes it even hotter.
I was noticing the birds the other day. They're chirping like crazy in the morning, in the evening, midday. They're just quiet and they're in the tree chilling out.
Yep.
It's too hot to do anything else.